Here we are. Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Matt Shad, and this is another episode of the Zoot Report, Sunroof Edition. Deployed eye fans. Let's go. So what is up, everybody? It is 84 degrees in Northeast Ohio. Near a cloud in the sky. It's clear blue skies, as you can tell. It's beautiful. Hot. It is kind of hot. 84 degrees. Welcome to summer. I mean, it's not that bad though. It's all good. UV is high. Temperatures are high. Tensions are high. And so are your taxes. That's right. Taxation. Hello. How we doing? Welcome to Taxation. Just about everything that you see, everything that you drive, everything that you see from the government, we gave them. We gave it to them, and I'm going to say this, willingly. Yeah, willingly. The reason why we have such high taxes on everything is because we allow them to do it. Now, the government has figured out that most people are law-abiding citizens. I say that with parentheses, law. But what is law? A law, especially when it comes to the government, is backed by enforcement. Violence. Punishment. They say, hey, we're gonna raise your taxes, and if you don't pay, we're gonna send guys with guns, big arms and tattoos, and we're gonna kick you off your land and sell it because you are not paying your taxes. What the fuck? So you're not, you don't necessarily own your land. Well, not at all. It's taxed. You're renting it. You are paying the government for the privilege of living on a piece of land that it has claimed ownership of. Our current taxation in this country is based on the fact that we pay for the privilege to be free, to do stuff, to own things, to better our lives, to make more money, to have nicer things, to provide goods and services for others. If you're a business, you're providing employees with ways and means to live life, to engage in the liberty of the pursuit of happiness. We work, yet we get taxed on it. We buy things, we get taxed on it. We drive our cars on the roads, we get taxed on it. We buy a piece of property, we get taxed on it. We die, we get taxed on it. If you were able to save up enough money, and when you die, you give it to your kids, you get taxed on it. They get taxed on it. When does it end? I'll tell you when it ends. When we say it ends. That's when it truly ends. I want to see the great tax reset. you know what? We have accepted this fact of taxation, mass taxation, for hundreds of years now. Oh, it's just the cost of living in a free society, right? Well, how are you truly free if a large portion of your money, of your earnings, of your blood, sweat, and tears actually go to a government, a governing body, a governing entity that just wants more and more and more, and passes laws without your consent, without your knowledge half the time, to ask for more. And they get to do with it as they see fit. There's hardly any oversight committees, hardly any oversight. The money just gets moved around. It gets thrown at pipe dream projects, war. It goes to other countries. Other fucking countries. I mean, I don't really, yeah, I get it. We want to be charitable. We want to help out those. And yeah, maybe some kind of foreign policy, you know, as a part of leverage. I see that. I see it. I understand that. Throwing some money at some country to, you know, make it beneficial to our interest. But whatever happened to America first? We still have homeless. We still have veterans that are homeless. We still have children that are homeless, that need help. It is damn near impossible to buy a house. You buy a car, it's all crap and it's taxed to hell. I mean, I'm driving around on used cars. Yeah, I bought a new car back in 2012. Still driving that thing, badass. Gotta love you, Zoot. Shout out to Zoot. And yes, I'm driving in Brynhilde, but she has a sunroof, so it did actually start with the Zoot because I was driving that. Anyway, because there's tax on the gas. There's tax on everything. Gas tax, tobacco tax, whiskey tax. Everything is taxed. You can't get away from it. Yet people continue to pay. I am too. I continue to pay. I have no choice. That's the argument I get. Well, we have no choice. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of choices. We're just isolated. We're not together. We, the people. Let's break that down for a minute. That statement. People. That is us. The people of this great nation that makes up the constitutional republic. The population of the nation. People. The people. It's the people of the nation. We has the connotation that we are connected, are together, are of like-minded mindset. We the people. I like saying that because I love being an American. But we the people, I don't know, you want to change that to they, them, the people? Some of the people? None of the people. We are not together. We have been divided. We have been damn near conquered. When it comes to taxation, we've been conquered. We pay. Now you might see some things here and there, like, you know, some fights and some your local politics. You know, hey, we don't want to raise property tax. Okay, well then we'll rezone. No, we don't want you to rezone. Okay, we want you to rezone. And you can raise property tax on that, and you get like a, you know, you're trying to develop a commercial. You know, they're always trying to develop land. Always. Because they want to make money off of us. And we give them all the money. Unrestricted money. Here, do what you want. Yeah, you know, you might have some local areas that have this, this mission statement, this code of conduct concerning what they do with the money. A little set of community guidelines, or, you know, policies and guidelines. But for the most part, it's actually all about collection and enforcement. And there's always stipulations, aren't there? There's always some kind of regulation. You know, you pay your taxes, you think, well, I get to do what I want, right? No. You can't build on your property. You can't. They got so many weird bullshit things that apply to us, not to the large corporations and land development owners and stuff like that want to make millions of dollars. It doesn't apply to them. They get tax breaks because it's for the benefit, right? So these large corporations, they get the tax breaks. They get actually money, subsidies. That subsidies are our money used to bring in these large investments and corporations. And we allow it to happen. We allow it to happen. Now, those in power, they're corrupt. Absolute power, power corrupts. That's what we know about a government. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. The way you get to absolute power is through punishments and enforcement. So what if, I've talked about it, I love this, and I first heard about it from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, from Mike Sethiel Plevis, The Walkaway. It was something that happened in the Greek society, the ancient Greek society, where it got to the point where everyone was working for these rich elites and rich landowners. Okay, thank you. That it got to the point where the rich were just doing what they wanted. They wasn't paying anybody. They were being oppressive. You know what? I'm rethinking my decision of going to this place. It is a silly place. Talking about Walmart. They were becoming oppressive and tyrannical. Such is the way of tyrants. Guess what? People got tired of it. It's like the rich tried to create a caste system where some people are more equal than others and get favorable treatment for brown nosing and ass kissing and doing what the rich, the elites wanted, while the others were punished severely. We're talking, yeah, these landowners had their own jails. They had their own dungeons. They had their own police force. Sound familiar? Coal mining wars? Yeah. Of this country. So the people were like, you know what? They got to talking, as people do. And they were like, you know what? Let's just stay home. Yeah, let's just stay home. Screw the dumb shit. Let's not go to work. And let's do this for however long it takes for them to capitulate. A strike, if you will. But it was a very encompassing strike. It was everyone stay home. Everyone. And it literally shut down the society. It shut it down. Think about that for a minute. If everybody just stayed home, didn't go to work, didn't pay their taxes, didn't pay their fines, fees, and penalties, they didn't buy anything, they didn't engage in commerce, they just stayed home. They have everything they need. They helped each other out. And they did. They tried. They tried to enforce. They tried to gather up the ringleaders. It's all your fault that this happened, and we're putting you in jail. We're gonna do a public execution, right? Make an example out of you. Whip these peasants into shape. They literally tried to enslave the whole population. With only the rich elites in charge. Everybody was working their ass off. Yet only the elites were reaping the benefits. And tyranny has raised its ugly head. And so the people of Greece just stayed home. And you know what happened? Yeah, they weathered not only did they weather it, they band together and they stopped the violence from the state. They stopped the violence from the landowners. Yeah, it took them they had to burn a few manors down, a few mansions. They had to engage in some unaliving of people. But then they just went back to doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. They just stayed at home. Stayed with their families. They took a nice vacation. And I don't know how long it took, but eventually the elites and the rich and the government were like, okay, we get it. Because they were starving. There was nobody to tend to the crops. There was nobody to process the crops. Nobody was feeding the animals, tending to the livestock. There was nobody defending the borders. There's no delivery services. There's no money coming in to the government from taxes. Everybody just said no. No, thank you. Don't want to participate. And everybody did it. And eventually the government and the elitists said, we're sorry. Please come back to work. You're destroying this country. We'll be nicer. We will be nicer. Sorry. You know how it is. It gets stressful. It's very stressful being a rich elitist. And the government and the corporations got the message. I would love to see that here today. In this country. In this time. That would be amazing. It's not going to happen. If it does, it's going to be really, really hard to do. Just getting everybody on the right, you know, just talking about it. I'm going to get censored. Not everybody's going to get the memo. But this happened at a time before even paper. All right, no, barely anybody used paper. They scrolls and parchments. Right, it was difficult to make. People did this shit word of mouth. People talked to each other. A whole population that talked to each other. The majority of the working class got together and said, you know what? Fuck this, man. Fuck this dumb shit. Let's just stay home. Let's just not go to work. Any work. And let's enforce anyone trying to go to work. And that's what they did. That's what they did. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful movement. I'd love to see that here. That'd be amazing. Let's see. I want to go that way. Okay. I don't know what I want. I think I want a lunch. A tasty lunch. Here everybody's all preoccupied and, you know, we have so much to lose because we're so propped up. We have to work. We have to continue to work because we have so much to lose. If we stop work for just one fucking day, 1 week, everything that we worked hard for is gone. You know, that house you lived in, that car payment that you were making every month, house bill that you're making every month, the taxes that are required for you to have the house and the car. You gotta save up that money, you gotta work hard, you gotta save that money. And if you don't pay it, people with guns will show up on your land and imprison you. Kick you off of it. Take all your shit and throw it outside and evict you. Of course they'll try to work with you. Of course they'll try to, you know, appeal to your senses. Hey, come to your senses, please. You're about to lose everything. Pancake breakfast. Oh, yeah. eventually somebody will show up. A bunch of people will show up with guns and try to evict you from your property. And if you try to fight back, they will kill you. Because might makes right, right? Might makes right. Right. So, I love it. And you're just one person. You're just one entity on a land with a family, perhaps. Maybe you're by yourself. Your neighbors are going to look out the windows. They're going to stand in the street. And if they try to get too close, they're going to be told to go away. Go away, you're interfering with official business. Really? No shit. Interfering with official business. You're kicking a person off their land. I don't know. I see a major injustice there. We are taxed by everything, and it's backed up by might. The full might of the United States of America. If you do not pay, you do not get to play. There's ways around it, you know. And you know, you see the rich, they do it. They have tax shelters, they have tax breaks. They hide their income. They offset their cost of the taxes with other things. So they hide a lot and move things around a lot. You know, we're just people out here. We the people. We the overtaxed people. And we just go along with it. Can't fight back, can you? No, no fighting back. It's not allowed. It is not allowed. And even if you try by yourself, you will fail. That's why it takes everybody. That's why it takes we the people to exact change, to tell our oppressive governments and regimes and municipalities and governing bodies that no, we're not going to do this. And we try to be civil. You know, what does that mean? We're trying to use administrative violence instead of actual kinetic violence. Yet we do have that intimidation factor is there for kinetic violence. But see, the governing entity, the parasite, knows that we want to be law-abiding citizens, that we want to keep the peace. We just want to be left alone, and we'll probably do anything they say to a certain extent. There is a breaking point, right? But is there really? Because they have just allowed for absolute taxation on just about everything. And this is inspired by Dirty Civilian. This is inspired by Dirty Civilian. If you haven't checked him out, please check him out. It's I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have, when it comes to taxes, I have not. I've paid my taxes, but I have not filed my taxes in, wow, yeah, it's going on 3 years. Damn. Mainly because I have a disorder. I call it PTSD. Chemical Carl talked about, Chemical Carl coined this phrase, PTSD, paperwork trauma syndrome disorder. I hate paper. I hate bureaucratic paperwork. God, you want to trigger me? Make me fill out a fucking 1099. I will lose my shit. I will deploy knife hands. Quick. I want to cuss everybody out. I want to throat punch every motherfucker within, a 20-foot radius of me. It sets me off. That's what gets my ancient orange, Agent Orange act up. I've never been to Vietnam. That's what wakes me up. That's what gets me fucking pissed. I gotta fill out fucking paperwork, give you money, authorize the government. I authorize the government, and I'm giving away my money, and I have to pay for this process. Well, you don't really have to pay it. I can do it myself, and really, really fuck myself up. You know what I'm saying? Really go down. I'll need therapy after doing my taxes. I'll need a beer, a joint, fucking a jacuzzi, a blowjob, and a cigar and a stiff drink, all at once. So. But everything is made, the bureaucratic world has been allowed to propagate and control everything through administrative violence. So watching. That sounds good. Didn't look open though. And it's not only done through our governing bodies. It's done as a policy. With businesses and corporations. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to jump through these hoops. Our bank system. Try getting a loan for a house. So you want to, or buy a car or something. They got these systems in place, credit score checks. That's based on certain things, and it's just bullshit. I get it. They want to make sure that they have a vested interest in their investment, right? They're loaning us the money so that we can do what we want with it. There's so many stipulations involved. It boggles the mind. It really does. And you really need like a lawyer, an accountant, to be able to navigate this crap. This bureaucratic world that they've created to absolutely control us and to frustrate us into fighting back. How are you going to fight back with the little old lady at the DMV? You're not. Yeah, you could. What y'all doing, man? Let me see. All good. I'll go around you. How are you going to argue with paperwork? You're just not. You're not going to do it. You got to fill this out in triplicate. You got to, make sure you have these documents. You got to make sure that this has been validated and verified. You got to make sure that your biometrics have been scanned. I mean, damn. It's just so convoluted and so unnecessary. That's exactly where we've come to. We have come to that point where we are just doing as we're told. And nobody is doing anything about it. And we go along with it. Because we want to go along to get along. And even if you do fight back, they define the rules of fighting back. They define the parameters. Oh, you want to file a grievance report? Okay. It's you want to change this, change that. Well, then you got to talk to your representative in ad nauseum and in detail, if they even listen to you. Oh, you got to fill out all these forms and then wait 6 weeks for us to, decide if we're going to respond. Oh, you got to get the banks involved, your property tax. Okay. Well, guess what? We're gonna, we're gonna go ahead and wait this long. And you didn't. Oh, well, you know what? You didn't do this and you didn't do that. So that's all null and void. You failed. You didn't dot your T's and cross your I's. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. You didn't fill it out properly, so you failed. What other recourse is there? I mean, other than going killdozer on it. Fucking the anti-hero. When the government fears its people, there is freedom. When the people fear its government, there is tyranny. And what do we fear most of all? Taxation. Getting that phone call or just getting that letter from the Internal Revenue Service or your local government telling you that, hey, your property taxes are past due. We're gonna auction off your property. Sorry for your loss. You're being stupid and should have paid us the extortion money. And here's another aspect. We got all these taxes, right? Sure, we talked about that. What the fuck is inflation? Yeah, what the fuck is inflation? Why is there inflation? You're telling me the cost of things go up because of why? Why again do they go up? Because the value of the dollar is less? Well, that's not my fault. That's the government's fault. That is the government's fault. Not a corporation. Not the actions of the people. It is the mismanagement of the actual government of the nation and the world that creates inflation. Which might as well be a tax. Because They just tack on the cost to us. That's why a hammer costs $700. Ah, well, you know, inflation. Yeah. Oh, you know, we got this war in the fucking Middle East, so you know that's why your oil is going up. Price of gas is going up. Hey, you know, inflation. Bullshit. It's the devaluing of our money. The actual money that the government says that they provide. It's fiat currency. I mean, we can go real deep on this. That fiat currency, which is not backed by gold, it is literally printed. It is literally a number made up by the Federal Reserve, which is not federal, nor do they have any reserves. Let that sink in for a minute. It is literally a corporation running the nation, controlling the money and the supply of money and the value of money. Why would we allow this to happen, to continue? And yeah, this all, you know, came from the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde Island, right? That shit, that bullshit. But we have the power. We have the absolute power to change all this. And it's not a violent thing. It is literally do not participate. Yeah, but they make it so hard for us not to participate. And with everything being done now with the whole surveillance and the tracking, and everybody is, they know what everybody's doing. They want to know what you think. They want to know what you feel. They don't think you know, but I know that you do. But I know that you, yeah, right? Taxation, inflation, fines and fees and regulations, enforcement. That's the biggest problem with this country. And if it's allowed, which it is allowed, if we've allowed this parasite to grow and become more and more greedy. That's the thing about a parasite. It is sucking the life force from the host. We, the people, are the host. And they are the parasite. And they grow fat off of our endeavors. They grow fat off of our success. They profit from our profit. And it doesn't take a prophet to tell you how this ends. Major problem. And you know what? Our founding fathers talked about this. They had solutions to this problem. Yet it is too costly for us to engage in such corrective measures. Because we have so much to lose. Or so we think. We've been lied to. We've been lied to believe that everything that we have can be taken away from us. And it's true, it can be. But we've been lied to and intimidated and threatened to believing that the authority is absolute. Everything's negotiable. Alright, where was I? I stopped in the store real quick. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just driving around and talking shit. I think I'm looking for a lunch. Kind of wanted breakfast, but it's 2 o'clock in the... That's what you get for waking up at 12 o'clock in the morning. Or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I stayed up all night. It was great. And no, I didn't get online. How about that? This way of life and this taxation upon us has forced us to live a certain type of way. We have to schedule our life around these taxations and inflations. We have to prep against that. We have to make concessions for what we really want to do. So I argue that taxation is a great injustice against our pursuit of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and should be abolished. You know, don't you remember a little, you know, a Cheeto colored guy that said that, yeah, we're gonna do tariffs, we're gonna lower taxes, we're gonna start this rumor that, you know, the IRS could be abolished and the taxation could go away, and bullshit, man. Are you kidding me? You think they're gonna kill their favorite cash cow? Because that's all we are. That's all we are. It's built on debt. They get to spend all that money, quote unquote money, for whatever they want. Now, I don't mind making sure that my roads are passable. I don't mind that there's a police force that keeps our community safe, as long as they abide by the Constitution. I don't mind a standing military protecting our borders, not somebody else's borders, not going over somewhere else so we can fight and die for somebody else. Most countries don't do that. That's the whole thing. I'm probably going to get a copyright strike. Horrible fucking song. I don't know what they're saying. I hate music nowadays. Hate it. It sounds like country, but it even sounds shitty to me. Sounds like AI. I don't know. But yeah, other countries don't fight for other countries. In case you, except for, like, say, Ukraine, you know, or somebody else. I mean, of course you got the malign actors that we that whole victimhood, right? You got your Middle Easterns, your Palestinians, your Iranians. You know, hey, come fight for our. You don't see anybody run into their cause. Yeah, we run to so many other people, so many other countries to save them. They don't want to be saved. They just want to exploit. And yeah, you know, the tiny hats got us into this war. We're doing it on the behest of them. I mean, the inflation on gas, the taxes. There's so many wars going on. I mean, of course, there's the obvious war, but you know, there's the AI war, and that's why your electric bill has been so high, because they want to tax us to pay for it all, so they can win the AI war, which is a double-edged poison sword, because those who win the AI war can now be destroyed by it. we are, it boggles the mind. We need to stop. We need to stop. We need to stop this bullshit. Stop this stupidity. But they won't. They just won't do it. And we won't allow it either. We'll just say, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I hate that fucking saying. It is what it is. Nothing is what it seems. Everything is negotiable. All depends on how you negotiate. Yeah. Oh, welcome to Golden Dragon. They are empty. They got us thinking so many different things. They got us believing such different crap. It's amazing. And they also make us believe that our tax dollars are hard at work for ourselves. You know, if I make an investment, if I invest into, say, a business, I want to see some type of return that benefits me. Yeah, I'm benefiting the business, but I'm not doing it out of the kindness of my heart. I want to make money too. I want to see some type of return. We are not seeing that with our government. We are not seeing that in our investment. Our investments are being used against us. Absolutely against us. We are funding our own demise. And tell me we're not. We are funding the absolute autocracy, authoritative control of all American citizens of the constitutional republic. They are destroying the constitutional republic, and we are allowing them to do it through taxation, through inflations, through all these things, all these little numbers and decimal points. And we could easily just walk away. Just walk away. Yeah, we're done. I don't want to pay for this anymore. I don't care. People we have been tricked into believing that the authority matters. When we forget we are the authority. And there are very absolute simple solutions to this. All we got to do is nut up and stay together. Stay united. Stay we the people. We are not the people anymore. We the individual. There's no we in the people. Just say the people. Take out we. It's the people. I would love to see Sethioplephus. I would love to see that. I'd love to be a part of that. I'd love to encourage that. I'd love to promote that. Is that seditious? Would that get me thrown in jail? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. It is forbidden. Really? I'm sorry. I thought it was a free country. No, it's not free. Oh no. It's it costs 33%. That's how much it costs, if not more. So what do you think? Please tell me in the comments below. What do you think the solution should be? Because it's obvious our government, our governing bodies do not listen to us. They do not hear us. You can't fight the system if the system don't care. And they don't care. They don't care what we got to say. They don't care the steps that we take. The administrative violence, which is, they don't care. Like I said before, the grievance, the way to complain and grievance about this is of their own design. They set the parameters. They set the procedure. Oh, you can't do anything else except sign this form, fill out this form. That's all. That's the only recourse you got. What the fuck? Really? Is that it? Is that all we got? Alright, I'm going into uncharted territory over here, and I don't like it. Yeah, starting to get into big city area. I don't like it. So. Wash your rug day. It's wash your Persian rug day. Yeah. I like it. Just throw your shit everywhere. Gotta dry your clothes, right? I used to do this thing back in the day, decades ago, when I got out of the Marine Corps, around the early 2000s, whatever. I would for 5 years I would do this thing. Like every other year I would claim exempt on my taxes, and I'd get my full paycheck. Yeah, I would get my full paycheck, no taxes taken out. They still had to take out, oddly enough, they still had to take out state tax, Medicare, Medicaid, shit like that. Yet the federal tax I claimed exempt, and everybody's like, "What? You can't do that?" I was like, "Yeah, I can, absolutely." And I did it every other year. I did it every other year. And at the end of 5 years or whatever, I would go do my taxes, bring all this paperwork with me, all this bullshit. They would fine me. They would tack on. They would fine me for not filing my taxes or whatever. There'd be some kind of penalty. I would pay it easily and get back like a major big chunk of change. Think about it. 5 years worth of tax returns. And then they changed that. They said no, you can only do it every three years. And after 3 years, they said no, wait a minute, no. Now we got to change it again. You have to file every year, and if you don't, guess what? Boom! I got audited. They took out more money out of my taxes. They changed everything up on me. I had no say in the matter. And for a long time, I did this model based on everybody else that was doing it, that I'd learned. Like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I like this idea. I'll work for 5 years, and pay my taxes, file exempt, whatever. right? Get this large chunk of change at the end of the time. But they didn't even. It was my money that they owed me. A percentage of what I paid in. Not all of it, a percentage. All that money I paid to the government, I didn't get it back. I just got a small portion. I just wanted to stretch it out. Let's make it 5 years. And I'll claim exempt every other year because I want to. You know, there's a anti-tax coalition. I think it's like 20 million people, and they do not pay taxes. But every year they have to go to court and spend money. But they're a coalition, so they pay into that. So it's funny, they still pay a tax. You're still paying a tax, just not income tax. There's so many different taxes. You still got to pay all the other taxes. This makes me wonder, man, maybe being homeless is the way to go. I don't know. But I like having showers, taking showers, and having food in a refrigerator, power. I like air conditioning and heating. I like electricity to run my electronics. I mean, I guess you could do the same thing homeless, but you're homeless. You're a wandering nomad. You cannot put roots down anywhere. They're literally penalizing us. For thousands of years of evolution. Think about that. We started out hunter-gatherers. Maybe we lived in a cave, maybe we were nomadic. Scientists say, and it's possible that we were very nomadic and moving around from place to place, hunting, basically moving with the game and the wildlife. Existing and surviving and thriving. But we were always constantly on the move, chasing the herd. And then somebody had the bright idea that, hey, how about I domesticate some animals and breed them and plant crops that grow in a stationary area that I can tend to and manage for as long as I live. Give it over to my family, my children, so they can do the same thing. And my bloodline can exist, survive, and thrive for thousands of years. And build a community and help them out. Just by carving existence out of the land. Yeah, I'm talking about farming and homesteading. We are literally getting taxed on that. It is forbidden. It's crazy. I mean, when you put it that way, they are literally trying to make us. They're trying to force us into the cities. They're trying to force us into apartments. You will own nothing and be happy, and you'll just be taxed to death on everything. There will be a tax on everything. And we allow it. We freely pay it. We freely allow them to change our fundamental way of life. Because things are not affordable. Taxations and inflation. Boston Tea Party was about 3 cents. Yeah. 3 cents. It was a different economy, but still, you understand. That was just one of the taxes. There were taxes on just about everything. So anyway, thank you all for listening. We rant and rave, I guess, about taxing. Yep, here you go. I'm going to block traffic. This douchebag's in the way. Yeah, so thank you all for hanging out with me on this beautiful Sunday. I've just been taking a Sunday drive. I guess I'm looking for a lunch. I haven't found what I want yet. I don't know. I think I've got an idea. See if it works. But I still got some other shit I want to do before the sun goes down. So yeah, thank you all very, very much for hanging out with me on this Zoot report. Tell me what you think in the comments. What is the solution to being overtaxed? How do we stop it? How do we get out away from taxations and inflations? I mean, I talked about the walkaway, the Sethial Plethys. Not participating in the system. Enforcing our non-participation. It doesn't have to be a violent thing. And, you know, that's what the government has done. And I have to say this too. We, the people, have evolved to that point where we really don't want to be violent. Yet there's always that threat of violence. There should always be that threat of violence. And our founding fathers knew that. That's why we have the Second Amendment. So we can change things if we wish to. But even just with the threat of violence. But Thomas Jefferson said it best. Or, I'm sorry, was it Thomas Jefferson or Andrew Jackson? I forget. Best thing for democracy is a revolution every now and then. So anyway, I'd like to see the tax revolution. Oh yeah, remember now, the IRS has their own private army, their own enforcement. Remember that? They got all those guns and ammo and you know, military gear. They still have it. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Department of Agriculture, Department of Education, they have gear that would outfit a small army. An armed enforcement arm. They have that. It's still there. Why would the Department of Agriculture need MRAPs, MP9s, AK or M16s, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition? Why? Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me on this Sunday Zoot report. Have a good day and skull.